I'm trying to make YouTube my home as a platform. So definitely join if you can. I just want to make sure that this isn't leaning forward, that this isn't gonna fall. Okay, let's do it. Let's dance, let's party, let's get to it. All right, so here's what we do know. Okay, we've got Adam and Marissa. Let's see what the beginning scene was before we even get into it. Nothing. Hey girl, welcome in. Are you guys signed into your YouTube account while you guys are watching me on TikTok? Because that is the next question. If you guys could please sign into your YouTubes. I'm about to do it too for my backup account. I do not hold you to a standard that I do not hold myself to. So we got 3 devices going right now to make sure that we are getting these YouTube watch hours. But in any case, we have Adam and Marissa. They are the couples are all asking really good questions actually at this dinner, and challenging Adam in a way that I don't think he's used to being challenged. So they asked Adam, why is it so important that Marissa shares your hobbies? Of course, he says that I've just had it in my past relationships, and I think that that's his go-to excuse for things. When he's uncomfortable, Adam just pins it on this magical, mythical ex-girlfriend that wanted to compete with him all the time. That's not love, babes. I don't know what that is, but it's certainly not love. You don't have to compete. Hey, Doreen, welcome in, friend. How are you? You don't have to compete in real love. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. Real love doesn't care how fast you are on the track. It doesn't care about how good your pickleballing is. It doesn't care how fast you can run or how much you play golf. That's just weird, y'all. And that's my biggest issue with them. Hey, Patricia. I feel like Adam is looking for a competitive best friend, and Nikki points that out. Does it challenge Adam? Yes. Does he hate being challenged? Yes. Adam has decided that you don't get to challenge him, and my boy means that. Now, Kayla says, I can't think of a single successful relationship where they align on everything. Oh, good. I love it. And I want to say this, okay? The only reason she thinks it's a normal thing to not align with your partner on anything is because she don't want to be around her partner. She don't like her partner. So do not take advice from Caitlyn on anything. Should I rage bait y'all and put this picture up on YouTube? I'm feeling rage baity today. So yes, I do feel as though for me, I wouldn't take advice from Caitlyn, but I would say that she's not wrong that you don't have to align with your partner on everything. And that kills me to say that Caitlyn might be right about something, but I don't know. She's not wrong. Now, on the other end of that, Adam snarkily says, you should have met my ex, I guess. And I was just like, ooh, Adam, Adam, calm down, baby. Hey, China, welcome in, my love. How are you? Welcome, welcome. And Caitlyn calls him out. I love that she did that. That was a crazy comment, because why are you so stuck on this ex? Can I be honest with y'all? I'm starting to think that maybe Adam and this ex aren't really exes. Is Adam still involved with this ex to some degree or capacity? Because it feels as though he's highly protective of his ex in a way that he isn't protective of Marissa and her feelings. Why is Adam so stuck on this ex? Is nobody else like thinking about this? Like, why does Adam care so much about this ex? Yeah, is he still in love with her? Because that's what it's giving, babes. I'm so sorry. You feel, oh, thank you, China, for the hand heart. Because it feels like something is going on there, and the experts should have picked it up by now. Adam too is very, very, very rigid and cold. And Shawn chimes in, is, do your parents talk like you do? And at first I didn't know where he was going with that, right? Because I was like, what is he talking about? What does the parents have to do with this? Adam's just a freak show, right? But but really what he was saying was, where do you get this notion that everything is just vibes from? Where is this notion coming from that everything is supposed to be about vibes and a good time? And Adam says not at all. He clarifies that, well, Shawn clarifies is that I worry that people that speak like that actually have a very low EQ, and they're using that limited vocabulary that they have, right, to express themselves. Because vibes, cooked, all this new age stuff, I see exactly where he's coming from. I hate it when people talk like that. I absolutely hate it. Y'all can say what y'all want to. Yes, China, welcome in, girl. I hate it when people talk like that, because I do recognize that you probably don't have the highest EQ. You don't know how to speak from a place of depth. And if you're talking about a marriage, you need a broad enough vocabulary to be able to talk. Knox Astros. Mind you, vocabulary is also a part of EQ. Shawn was not wrong. Shawn was absolutely 100% right here. Patricia, that's why I was rage baiting y'all with that photo, but I was like, he's messing up my vibes. Shawn, listen, look at this cute face. I'm not gonna put Shawn's face up here behind me. I'm sorry. He was messing up my image. Like, this face is beautiful. This retouch button on this YouTube is no joke. But anyways, Shawn was never wrong. Okay, and I know y'all don't like Shawn because he is big, black, and ugly, and very professorial in the way that he speaks. And I have named the thing, and the reason I say those things is not to be mean to Shawn. I want to make that very clear that I am also black. Some people might call me big, and some people might say ugly. However, if I feel like if we normalize calling the bias a bias, we do better. And that is why I keep reframing it that way, is because I don't want to add shame to something that shouldn't be shameful. If you find out that the reason why you truly don't like somebody and the way that they're coming off is because of their appearance, name it. Take ownership of it and change it. And that's what I've been challenging this whole season, is why don't you like Shawn? Why isn't he deserving of forgiveness for any of the wrongdoings he's done, when you got men like Adam with axes in their ceilings and a tarp for a roof? But y'all mad because Shawn has what I consider a very standard male home. And his homeless friend that I think is actually his partner sometimes, coming in and out, that is actual observable dangerous behavior to his wife, but yet y'all would rather call Shawn dangerous. Do y'all see what I'm saying? If he gets to have a homeless man drifting in and out of his house where his wife might be one day, but Shawn doesn't get to ask his wife for sex repeatedly, like, and that's called dangerous, I'm starting to feel like y'all just don't like big fat black people. And I don't know how else to put that. Like, this man is inherently, his behaviors are inherently more dangerous than anything Shawn has said this whole season, because he's actually doing it. Taking her the first time that they're at his lake house on a 65-mile-per-hour jet ski ride, dangerous. Like, we can't dispute these facts that this is a dangerous man. But neither here nor there. Adam says, so you're calling me low IQ? No, I said low emotional intelligence. That E part is important, my babes. But he was so upset that somebody would call him out that he couldn't even hear right. His brain could not hear right to even believe that you would call him low emotional intelligence. But that's what you're exhibiting. To not know that your wife was suppressing herself this whole marriage with you, that's low emotional intelligence. Don't care. You should have picked up on the fact that she didn't want to do those activities, but you didn't care. Shawn says, I would challenge my friends who speak like this to be more articulate or expressive. Exactly. Because he pisses me off. Adam pisses me off on a regular basis. And the fact that y'all don't ride that man as hard as y'all ride Mecca, as hard as y'all ride Shawn, I will never understand it. This man clearly has some issues and y'all refuse to make him confront those issues, which is exactly why he gets away with it and other white men like him. Anywho, um, like Shawn says, did you create some type of character to keep you from expressing yourself? And I do believe that that is what he openly admits to when he says things like, I've decided to live out loud. I've decided to really project myself because when I was a kid, I was so busy hiding myself. That's performative, right? Like, I feel like the thing that makes me lose some respect for Paul is that he can't see past the outside to really get to the depth of what's going on inside. And so when I hear somebody say, oh, Mecca is performative, I think to myself, this is performative. At least Shawn and Mecca can be funny, really funny, because they're both really petty people and actually witty. The thing is, wit is what drives humor. He has none of it. He has none of it. Now, we do see here, though, that Adam says, is how I communicate with all my friends. In his confessional, he's talking about Shawn and how he is embarrassed to be friends with someone him and Nikki's age who are fighting over pickleball. Mind you, I'm sorry, who are fighting over, hold on, let me restart that sentence. Adam says inside of his confessional that he is embarrassed to be friends with someone Shawn and Nikki's age who are fighting over such petty things. And immediately my brain went to the fact that the reason you're about to implode your own marriage is due to the fact that your wife doesn't want to play pickleball with you every day. The fact that your wife doesn't want to go jet skiing at 65 miles per hour with you. The fact that your wife wants to have serious conversations in a beautiful romantic setting like a hot tub boat and you want to challenge her to a push-up challenge. That's what you want to do. But yet these people at 47 who are arguing about intimacy, who are arguing about the way that they like to be spoken to, that's considered petty. Is Adam okay? Shawn did get Adam activated because he challenged him with wet socks on is hilarious. Shawn, what he did in that moment was he schooled Adam. Adam doesn't do well with being schooled. Adam doesn't do well with people who challenge his lifestyle. As you can tell by Marissa, she is seen to him as a threat at this point because she doesn't want to do what he wants to do all the time. Patricia, I didn't see performative. I saw comfort in self. Mecca was just being himself. Absolutely, Patricia. Absolutely. The thing is, if you watch it, or if you watch it with like close attention, the only time Mecca becomes super preachy, super forward with his thoughts and loosens up a little bit is when he starts to drink. I used to be in groups with men like that, and I know what that is. Like, it's just liquor. It is just liquor, and a lot of people behave like that, and it doesn't make them performative. It just makes them uninhibited. And Adam never asked about her interests. He doesn't care. Adam's only care in this world is Adam. And his jet ski. I take that back. Adam plus his jet ski are his only cares in the world. He was so offended. He was offended because for him, that is his identity. Vibes. He wants to live life on vibes. And how do you maintain a marriage on vibes? I can't even get from here. I can't do anything on just vibes. I need something else. I can't even have a friendship on just vibes. I need something else. It's just not going to work for me. And when you're a real adult, that's typically how we speak. We don't survive off of just vibes. It doesn't make a real relationship. And Marissa says that Adam can articulate himself very, very well. And I don't know what's in it for Marissa, that she feels like she has to defend him. I don't know what's in it for Marissa, that she feels like if she goes against what Adam says, that she is somehow this terrible wife. You're not. You're not. And I say the same thing about when Nikki was sitting at that table with Shawn. I agreed that the men at that table had every right to come for her. Unpopular opinion, I think she was dead wrong in how she was communicating with him initially. She's gotten much better since then. That exercise that her, Paul, and Shawn did really put things in a perspective for her, and that feedback can come in healthier ways. But initially she was hypercritical of Shawn, and I feel like now that she's implemented that strategy that Paul gave her, she's been doing much better with her communication with Shawn. And so when they were at that dinner table the first time, and people were like, I can't believe you let a man talk to your wife like that. Were they wrong though? Or did they point out what they saw and what they heard as disrespect from her? And I will say they were wrong about the whole towering over me thing, because that was a direct quote from him, but they didn't know that. And I think it was more so the vibes, right? Because at a certain point, they're believing that everything she says about him is just negative. And where does that come from but how you treat him? And I don't feel like he was wrong to sit back and not say anything. You know who else they should have said something to? I think they should have all ganged up on Courtney as well. I do not defend women just to defend women. When Courtney was throwing those F-bombs at Devon, when Courtney was throwing those F-bombs at her husband at the time, Nick, I don't understand why people did not stand up on his behalf. Like, I think they're all right to stand up on Marissa's behalf. I don't care that they're jumping at him. I don't care that they jumped Nikki. And I think they should have jumped Courtney as well. And we haven't gotten there yet, but I don't care that they gonna jump Felipe at this table. I'm sorry, Felipe. I don't care. I stand by right is right, wrong is wrong. And when these people are wrong and they need to be checked, that's what happens. And I think that Nikki needed to be checked. I think what is this guy right here? Adam needed to be checked. And Felipe needed to be checked. And they did that, period. Oh, and Courtney she didn't get checked though, but she needed to be checked. I think Devon tried to, but because his own wife is such a hater, like, I don't understand what Caitlyn gets for being this much of a hater. Caitlyn is a hater, and you cannot convince me otherwise. The only reason I think y'all like her, if I'm being honest with you, is I feel like because women have been dogged in past seasons, you almost want them to be the dogger. You want to see a woman dog walk these men just out of sheer solidarity with the women who in the past who have been treated like trash. But when you see somebody individual stories, like not as a whole, but when you see somebody like Devon who's actually trying in his marriage, why are you rooting for his downfall just because he's a man? He can't help it that he's lumped in with Adam. Like, Devon don't act like Adam. This is different. This is a different kind of man, okay? I don't want y'all like running Devon through the mud because Adam deserves to be run through the mud. Like, and I don't think we're able to differentiate. Like, yeah, in the past we've had Chris's that were with Paige, and we've had, Ike, with on other seasons, Catchy, that was his real name, and we've had all of these other terrible men, but that doesn't equate to every man being terrible. No, we're starting with Adam and Marissa at this group dinner in episode 15. I think what I've seen from Adam so far is that he's extremely rigid. He is impractical in his expectations of his wife, and he has no concerns for his wife's welfare. The only thing that Adam cares about is his own pleasure. And if you do not contribute 100%, because that was what Miss Lisa was asking. Dr. Lisa Paz asked them, would you be okay with compromise? And he said, I wouldn't be 100% happy, which to me translates as I'd rather be out of this relationship, which is emotional immaturity. Because when are you ever 100% happy in a relationship? Can I just act like I think as adults, we all understand. I don't like the Odyssey, but if my man want to go see the Odyssey, we gonna go see the Odyssey. So shut up. Hey, TB. And I might not want to go watch, um, whatever else that he's watching, but that's what you do, y'all. You take your man to that WWE wrestling match because that's what he want to go see on his birthday. It just is what it is. Thank you, China. I don't think that this is a very mature outlook on life. Right now, right? Like if I keep my AC on 66, but if he wanted it on 70 and we compromise at 68, am I 100% happy with the temperature in the house? No. But I'm going to compromise because that's what you have to do. You can't not compromise and expect to stay in a relationship long term. Adam doesn't understand that. He sucks as a husband. He really does. Watching ESPN now because the husband is home. Compromise. I know that's right. And you better keep that man happy, Miss Patricia. You better. Because if that man likes ESPN, sometimes we're going to watch that. And we also going to watch and gossip about Married at First Sight together too. That's okay. And sometimes we'll do shows apart because if you can't get into Love is Blind because of the pods, okay, whatever. What I'm saying is that relationships require some type of compromise, and that's okay. Now, the next couple, I am going to leave that up to you guys in the chat. So I need participation. Who are we going to talk about next? Because we talked about Adam and Marissa, but who in these episodes do we feel we haven't talked about yet? Drop down in the chat. Let us know where to go next. Vicky says he keeps bringing up his ex and her being so perfect. So why isn't he with her? Vicky, he might be. Okay, I can't guarantee you that he's not with that ex. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't guarantee you. As much as that man talks about her, he might be with her still. So I'm seeing Mecca and Belle. Are y'all okay on this side over on YouTube with Mecca and Belle? I think Mecca is afraid and self-sabotaging before he gets hurt. I agree. I definitely agree with that, Sugar Core. Trees, welcome in. How are you? Okay, Magnolia Belle is okay with Mecca and Belle, so we'll go to Mecca and Belle after like this couple is next. Hey, Justine, welcome in my. I changed the lighting. I don't know how to fix it back. I'm so sorry, YouTube. This is not my normal. I don't know how to stream over here yet, so I just be hitting buttons. I be messing stuff up. Fine. What if the ex is the one that he called and broke it off with before recoupling? First of all, Chameleon, I think that was his friend. She didn't even make sense in how she was talking about it. Chameleon, when he told her we're not going to be able to hang out anymore, she was like, this long pause, you're going to be sorry. Bye, and then hung up on him. I was like, this sounds like a producer or something that he had to call. This does not really sound like this young lady's voice because it really didn't make sense, and that's not how that call would have went. Happy Courtney is off your screen. I know that's right, Just T. My soul is delighting right now. We're going into our next couple, which is Mecca and Belle. Also, for everybody on TikTok, if y'all don't know, August 31st is the reunion for Love Island. If you guys are Love Island fans, I will be here right after it airs at 9 p.m. It's usually about 2 hours. So I'm going to be going live at 11. Make sure you guys hit that notify me button on YouTube so you can know when I go live. And so at 11 p.m., it'll be off and I'll be on. Y'all know before them credits finish ending, I am already on the live. And it's a Monday night. I gotta go to work in the morning. You know I'm gonna be on here right at the end of the episode, and we're going to break down the reunion together. I'm gonna come with my laptop just like I am today to give y'all the tea on each and every scene. But I need y'all to go hit the notify me button on YouTube. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and do that too. I'm also putting up all of these recaps from the live, so if you come in late, I understand. You can rewatch the lives while you guys are vacuuming and doing dishes around the house. I'll keep you guys entertained. He can't even compromise on not using a jet ski as his mode of transportation. He's not compromising on nothing else. He can't, Trees. He can't. Adam is a mess. Okay, let's go to Mecca because I see y'all. Listen, can I say something? Okay, because for those of y'all who aren't here, I give this same announcement for Mecca every single time. Okay, Mecca is a black man. Mecca is an alternative black man. Mecca is a beautiful black man who is scarred just like many other people in this world. When we talk about Mecca, one of the things I want us to do as a whole of Married at First Sight watchers is to advocate against dangerous language, and also advocate against calling people or labeling them anything other than what they told us. If he does not label himself as anything other than a heterosexual male, it will never be your place to do it for him. Okay? The same way you would never misgender anybody, let's not get into the habit of putting a sexual orientation onto them either that they have not claimed. Okay? Neither here nor there. Let's move on to Mecca and Belle. Let's see. Let's start off with, let's see. Where did they actually start speaking about themselves as a couple? Did they not talk in this final group session? Or did they not say anything like crazy about themselves in this group session? Y'all, why don't I have a lot of notes for them? Shawn just asked them, how long do you think you will be married to know if you love someone? And Belle says there's a lot of pressure to say it. When you look at everything we do, it's showing it. That's the only thing I could find that I took a note on, because either I didn't care at their point or but that wasn't when they were talking about themselves as a couple. He actually was chiming in on something that Nikki was saying. But you know how every couple gets like a good like block of their own where they're like, okay, we're done with them now. Let's talk about the progress that we're making. Theirs was all about the fact that yes, they did, which wasn't a surprise. Okay, so for those of you guys on YouTube, Mecca and Belle are at this group dinner and they've been chiming in, actively participating in the conversation with the other couples. But when it came down to them, they really didn't have much to add that was actually controversial, right? Shawn asked that question about love. They haven't said the L word to each other yet, and I think that's where all the couples thought it would be hitting by this point, because honestly, they've been a pretty smooth moving couple. They have not had many bumps in the road that have been hard to figure out. He's had some swaying emotions back and forth, but they haven't had major arguments with each other. And they haven't really had to grapple with whether or not they liked each other or whether or not they thought this could work. Like, it just seems very natural for Belle and Mecca. I do think that that is in part due to Belle's emotional intelligence, the very opposite of what Adam has. So, Treese, I appreciate him being being able to openly speak about his trauma, even when it might sound embarrassing. Him as a black man, that's a huge barrier. I think they said that Mecca is really 100% in it. Like, he hasn't been giving Belle his all. Okay, we will definitely dive into that theory because that takes us back to episode 14, actually. I think that Mecca is an alternative black man with an alternative lifestyle. This man would do so well in certain environments. I think he would find his own little kooky crew in New York. I think he would find it very easy to fit in places like LA or in New Orleans. I think he would do very well there. He is not thriving in Seattle. He is not thriving under the expectations of what successful men in Seattle would look like. Because I want y'all, for a reference, to think about Brett. Think about Paul. That is what we think of when we think of Seattle and Portland. Yes, he would do well in Atlanta. And she would too. She would eat Atlanta up. But when you think about the men from Portland and Seattle and that culture, he doesn't fit in. He needs to be in a culture where drinking is the norm all day long. I feel he is a party guy. He needs to be in a place where they can go to the studio and stay out until 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's not considered abnormal. A drive-through drink isn't considered crazy. You know, just loud, outwardly expressive, and different. I think that's where the culture is butting heads with him, because remember, as a black woman, I get served other black women as content creators. What I'm seeing of him is absolutely terrible as the narrative about him and Shawn, but it's because they don't fit the standard as the Bretts and the Tiffanys and the Cam and Laurens. They don't fit those love stories. It's kind of different. If you've been watching for a while, another love story that I think people grew to accept was Woody and Imani, because they did so well, right? But they're not the typical black love story. But I could see him and Woody being friends, actually. But yes, I think that this is a beautiful love story nonetheless. Flawed and all, I do not believe that you are less lovable because you're flawed, unless you're Courtney. If you are Courtney, I can't defend you. But if you would, I don't think is a bad thing. He's just flawed. So let's go back to what you said here. Mecca isn't 100% into this relationship. I think Mecca hasn't been sold on the idea of love. But what is love when your daddy is what is that man's name? Logic. When your daddy is Logic, imagine that. That's your sole parent, but your sole parent is Logic. What is love, and what does that mean to you? And how do you express it when his version of love was the same man that he feared so much that he used to pee on himself when he walked into a room? How do you reconcile what you experienced as love with what Belle Jolie is showing you as love? Because I would have a really difficult time. So are you telling me that every person in my life that was supposed to love me never really did? Because if you're telling me this is love, then what was I ever getting from my dad? What was I getting from my mom? What was I getting from my stepmom and everybody else? Because he hasn't really talked about his other relationships with other people. I think that this is really hard to accept when you come from a Logic environment. He just knows, Treese, that you give and give and give, and he probably doesn't even know what return looks like on love. Like, what does it feel to be this 100% accepted, tolerated, and not tolerated, but just celebrated? And he is freaking out in his spirit. A lot of times we read people's cool demeanors as they got it all together or they're smug. This man is probably at a level 10 sometimes when she's expressing love to him. We just don't get to see him freak out. And I acknowledge that and I hold space for that, because I know that the same little boy, this is the same little boy whose daddy like belittled him in front of his whole entire family and friend group on his wedding day. That's love to him. That is love to this boy. And I don't think his brain is ready for the shift that is Belle. Yes, the dating culture for black men who want to date black women is very hard, but there's a lot of social impacts that play into that. And I might do some deep dive videos on YouTube, depending on how much time I have, because y'all know we about to go into busy season with Love is Blind UK starting soon. And they're releasing all 8 episodes at once. Y'all gonna have to be patient with me. That's 8 videos I gotta release in the span of a couple of days. Baby, she's tired. Okay? She's tired just thinking about it. And Married at First Sight will drop on the same day. Who finna watch all that? Like, tell me, who is finna watch 8 episodes of that plus 2 to 3 episodes of this all at once in one day? Y'all better find somebody else to do it. I am tired just thinking about it. And I gotta edit all of those videos. However, we will be going live. We will. But I feel like for him, this whole experience has to be mind-blowing. mind-blowing. And I do think for him, it's the fighting of the love. So Paul nailed it when he said, you're running away from something. And Mecca said, I'm running away from the love. I fear it. I think it's going to take years of him experiencing consistent showing up to know that that is normal. It is normal to be loved. I'm so sorry, babes. It's normal to be loved. And I know that that sounds crazy to say to somebody, but when you've never experienced it, you do have to say that sometimes, and you have to show it through consistency. And it's not fair to Belle. People will say stuff like that. However, Belle has to choose what's fair to Belle. If Belle likes showing up for Mecca and showing him love, and she gets joy and she sees his progress in every move they make, every year they have an anniversary, and all these doubts just kind of wash away from her, then it's for her, then there's no reason for me to say it's unfair for her to stay with him. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because I don't want y'all sitting up here thinking that I'm advocating for her to stay. She doesn't have to stay. But I also don't know why we're pushing so hard for her to break up. Because of all the levels of toxic abusiveness that I've seen on this show, this won't even be filed away in the cache. This was such a non-problematic thing for me, and it's so common. We just have gotten so unrealistic in our standards on social media about relationships, where we'll be like, our partner has to come packaged ready, perfect, 20 years of therapy, ready to go, understands all their feelings, never has any trauma to work through, never has to disagree with me about anything. And it's like, that's not realistic. Realistically, we don't even know half the issues that we're gonna have until we have them. We're not even gonna realize how the third grade, corn that we got exposed to affected our sex life for the next 20, 30 years until somebody points it out that that's odd. You don't realize what you don't realize. He's probably terrified Belle could love him even through his trauma. And it's normal for someone to love you without constantly pointing out your flaws. They have to come completely healed. So today's world is going to tell you they have to come completely healed, but I just feel like that's not realistic, y'all. Please don't go out here at the dating scene expecting that, because I'm not advocating for that. There's no such thing as a completely healed person who will never fall back into some old habits. Now, don't accept anybody being mean to you. Do not accept the Courtney treatment from nobody. Don't expect the Caitlyn treatment from anybody. No. You can do better than that. But for somebody who pushes back sometimes when you show them too much love and affection, I would say that that's completely normal. And I think that if you're going to do an arranged marriage, there's a higher probability, because you guys haven't had time to grow together, that their shortcomings are going to be even louder to you, because you're being thrusted into this environment with them all the time. Now, is there anything I'm forgetting to talk about with them other than they haven't said the L word to each other? They're slow to pull the trigger on it. I guess we can go into Nikki and Shawn next. Let's do it. Why not? Because I feel like that's the fun part of all of this. That's under Nikki and Shawn segment. So we're going to get into them when we talk about Nikki and Shawn trees. So actually, when we talk about Nikki and Shawn, yes, y'all know I could not wait, because if anything, I am a troll, baby. I love trolling these people. I can't wait to upset the people. I have never been more excited to talk about anything, which is the fact that Shawn and Nikki getting busy. How are we feeling about that? Because I know the girlies are at home mad, baby. Just pissed off that Shawn and Nikki are in this room. They might not have went all the way, but baby, he got a little bit of something, because y'all saw how pleased that man was. He was light on his feet. He was carrying that 250 he was real light as a feather. Yes, Yes, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all the pleasure on this side of seeing it from this phone because I can put it up as my background. Oh, I loved it for Shawn. They probably gonna, I wonder if they all, well, it's blurred out, so they can't say anything. But yeah, I have the picture. Oh, I said, Shawn. The way this cracked me up. Shawn, what am I watching on this television? It was funny to me though. So I feel that, right, whatever happened with Shawn and Nikki in that room is their business. They are absolutely grown. I thought it was funny because all it took was Shawn not being argumentative and taking her to wine tasting and for chocolates. So these two things was all she needed this whole time. Just just those two things was all she needed this whole time. So, and I think it's a bigger thing, right, that we're not talking about. The elephant in, come on, chameleon, because that'll do it. That'll do it. Oh, that'll do it every time. Woo, that'll do it every time. I don't want to engage with that comment again. But yes, I feel like, because y'all know I'm an oversharer. This is why we need to get like a close friends on TikTok where I can just be, I can just say whatever I want to and just like blast the information. Story time. Anyways, maybe behind a paywall, we're going to have a separate discussion. Anywho, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so wine and chocolates. I will say Shawn did this thing again where he pushes it. I thought it was really, really weird and the antithesis of attraction for him to put that chocolate in his mouth and make her eat the other half of it, like the Lady in the Tramp style. Shawn, that wasn't it, babes. And actually, that was that was just not it for me. And then the next part that I thought was funny was, yes, the are you just happy to see me? And this is the thing though. I think a lot of people underestimate the importance of proximity. When he said to her, I wish you wouldn't leave after every fight, people thought he's just being manipulative because he's being so calm. That's the issue. No, 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 no. This is the truth. Sometimes closeness is all you need to really get over issues. Sometimes closeness is all you really need to turn that ugly young man into someone that you could actually see a future with. Closeness and proximity are so important to both healing and repair, as well as building a strong foundation. You don't have to think that this person is super attractive, but if you're around them 7 days a week and they're actually trying, then it changes your perspective and your outlook on things. It really, really does. I think that Shawn had the right idea. Nikki just at first was so resistant to it that she couldn't hear that idea. And she was so dissatisfied with the way that he looked, one, but then the fact that he wasn't just rolling over for her too. Because I told y'all don't really want a partner. Some of y'all want the Cordells of the world, which are just your lap dogs, and you're more comfortable with a lap dog than someone with their own personalities. Okay, the same way that, and I think that we're all entitled to our own opinion of how we want to express ourselves, right? But like, he does not have to just lay down and take it because Nikki is so pretty. He doesn't, because Cordell deserves that story. I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. There is nowhere in the world where a man has to just lay down and take it. Or a woman. You don't have to just take anything. You can get up and say, no, this is what I want. And I'm gonna ask again because I want it again. I.e., why some people are mad and calling Devon pushy is because he's not just letting Caitlyn treat him however. And if we're talking about the reason why people like Nick so much, is because he just laid down and took it however Courtney wanted to give it to him. We consider Nick's performance of manhood here 100% like just greatness, right? Whereas I say no. You stand up for yourself. What do you want? What do you want? And it can't be a woman who talks to you like you're absolutely her lapdog. Now, the reason why I say that is because to me, the Courtney and Serena's are the same person. Y'all just are uncomfortable with that conversation because Serena's black. But the Courtney's and Serena's aren't that different. They're both emotionally guarded. They're wanting very unrealistic expectations around both forgiveness, because she didn't forgive anybody. She cussed them out for 45 minutes apparently when they came back from Casa Amor. And Courtney cussed out Devon for just confronting her. And that's the energy that we're okay with women having. But the minute that it's a man, oh, he's wrong. Because I'll never forgive y'all for the way that you treated, what was his name? With Andrea. The black guy from that season. Yes, Leah, welcome in. I forgot his name. I forgot his name and I can't think of it. The black guy that was friends with Cordell. Cordell's friend that the mixed, not that mixed guy, not Miguel. What was the other mixed guy on there that was dating Andrea from Love Island season 6? He was black. Hakeem was straight up black. Kendall, I will never forget the way that y'all treated Kendall for standing up to Serena. Y'all are uncomfortable with men who do not like let you roll over them and steamroll them. And I say this all the time. If you can dish it, you better be able to take it. Thank you, Nicole. I forgot them names. They all white and standard, okay? So yeah. For me, okay, the reason that y'all like the mean girls, i.e. Serena, i.e. the Caitlyn's and the Courtney's, is because you expect the men that are paired with them to act like Nick and Cordell, and you expect the Devon. But what about the men like Shawn who are in that middle space? There might not be disrespectful in an argument, but they're gonna put you in your place. You just want to be right all the time, and I'm not having it. And I'm not letting you talk to me crazy because of that. Yeah, this gonna be an argument. And you notice what they get called? Sassy. They get called, because y'all did it to Kendall as well. Y'all called him sassy. You called him zesty. You called him all these things because he didn't dare let Serena talk to him the way that Cordell let him talk to him. And I blame Cordell for it, because y'all out here looking for your Cordells when you need a man that's gonna stand up for himself. No. But that's my whole 2 cents on why we like Nick so much. We like Nick because Nick never fired back at Courtney when he had every right to. And we like Cordell because he didn't drag Serena the way he should have. Neither here nor there. That's just my little 2 cents on where we see things going. And y'all don't like men that speak up for themselves, that don't take people ish rolling over. I think that we really need to change that moving forward. Now, Shawn and Nikki said that they explored, right? Shawn and Nikki said that they explored, and that man walked out that bedroom feeling very satisfied with himself. He said it went on for much longer than he expected it to go on for. What we think happened? Do we think that they were in there french frying? He was. Robe just flew open, okay? If they was in there french frying. I think she tugged the rug. Good point. Didn't think about that. Did not think about that, Just T. And I'll tell you why. Nikki strikes me as selfish. I would say that, yeah, I would agree with Brie. I don't think she would tug. Oh, Magnolia Bell says, I don't think they did anything. I think they were pretending. Okay, Magnolia, I like this theory. I love the conspiracy theory. Give me my tinfoil hat, baby, because listen, if we're going to play the game, play it to the maximum, right? Like, make them really believe it. Sell it. Okay, we trying to get rich quick. We got to sell this idea of a relationship. Okay, I like it. No, all for Ant, I'm not. It gave him a lot of confidence. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I love these ideas and conspiracy theories because I'm here for it. And they're married. So it's not like it matters one way or the other, right? Like, it's not like it's like a big deal. You're hilarious, Aunt. Okay, Trees. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She did. She did say that. She said that that's her favorite position as well in episode 1. Y'all, I don't know. We have so many thoughts on what could have been happening that I don't know what actually did happen. And they don't have to tell us, but it went on for longer than he expected. It went on for longer than he expected, whatever it was. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so curious on what this could have been. But anyways, they explored, right? And now they had to go tell the couples at the final. Just see, that's hilarious. Y'all are funny. Now, whatever Nikki and Shawn did, they're taking that joy into couples dinner with them, okay? Because they know that they're always on the chopping block when it comes to the other couples because they doubt them. They really doubt Nikki. They don't believe that Nikki could ever grow to like Shawn. And let me tell you something, okay? Big, black, bald, ugly men deserve love too. And I want to keep saying that because I want y'all to sit in the discomfort of hearing exactly what you're not saying out loud, okay? I want y'all to hear the fact that y'all exclude certain people from being desirable just because of those combinations of words. Big, black, bald, and ugly. That does not exclude you from love. That does not exclude you from anything. Trust me, they out here getting active in these streets. And for my younger crowd, if y'all are in here and you're under 25, you probably know who this name is, but there's a streamer named Pudgy, over 500 pounds. And he's about a G cup, okay? Pudgy is still pulling women. He went to streamer prom with Dream Doll. Okay, I don't think that weight stops anything. And I think we need to get over the fact that you can be big, black, and considered unattractive and still have a lot to offer a relationship. It is their own bias, and I've been challenging it ever since I've seen him because I really want us to think about the fact that our bias impacts the grace that we give people on these shows. Now listen, my 600-pound life, baby, there ain't not a single one of them single. And them men be bringing them big meals. You talking about you can't get a man to spend $30 on you, baby, 3 times a day. All the Eggo waffles be gone in one breakfast. Whole dozen eggs cooked. Bacon. And y'all know bacon about $8. Cooked in one go, okay? That's what I'm talking about. That's love. Okay, when people say, what is love? Love is, I saw one man hose his wife down on the back porch because she didn't fit in the bathroom no more. He hosed her down on the back porch every morning. That's love. Hey, Shelby girl, welcome in. I feel like a personality will get you far. And so we need to undo some of this stuff that we have around our own biases, and I'm going to keep naming it. I'm going to keep naming it. I'm sorry if it makes you uncomfortable. Fixing mama 3 plates of spaghetti and the kids only get 1 and them noodles be dry. Mama, with them 3 plates of spaghetti, hers be thick and heavy and creamy and saucy. Kids' noodles be just as dry. They be sitting over there with them little bowls, little spoonfuls, and she got tubs of spaghetti. So yeah, I definitely feel like we got to get back to our people though. But yes, that's Shawn and Nikki, right? So we have the 2 of them. Adam is in his feelings about being called out by Adam. You know, when I'm sorry, Adam is in his feelings about being called out by Shawn. So when Shawn said you have a low emotional intelligence score, he wasn't wrong. I'm going to give him that. Adam, veins popping out. Angry. He looked constipated on the other side of that table across from Shawn and Nikki. And he goes to attacking Shawn immediately. Once they said they were switching to Nikki and Shawn in this conversation, Adam couldn't help himself. He had all the questions for this couple because he was ready to go. How dare you question my emotional intelligence when I don't listen to my wife? Now I'm a question everything about your relationship. Oh yeah, he was active. He was ready to get active. Shawn says we're having some of the conversations we should have been having week 1. And I think that, and y'all can tell me if you're wrong, but I do think that Shawn came in this experiment wanting 100% a wife. I believe that Shawn came in thinking that he was going to get a woman as open as he was, similarly to Devon. The both of them, to me, came in here ready to ask and answer really hard questions, not knowing that the women they were with or paired with were going to need more time. And because of that, they can come off pushy. But I dare to say that I would feel that this is the normal pace you should be moving at. The pace that Shawn and Devon are moving at is more of what I would expect for an arranged marriage. I get that this is an arranged marriage on TV, which makes it a little bit different, but it really shouldn't. If you're all in with your partner and you agree that this is going to be my life partner forever, for the rest of my life, I should be asking you really hard questions week 1. I should be asking you about, your mess ups in past relationships and cheating. And we shouldn't be on week 4 and Devon's just discovering that Caitlyn was treated really, really bad, like intimate details about that. That should not be happening at this point. That should have happened week 1. And I just feel like, to be honest with you, they just had really hesitant wives. And they would have been better with people who were truly open to this experience and treating it like a lifelong partnership. Are we all in agreement? Can we all at least agree that that happened? I agree with you, Astros. So many people came in here closed off, and when you're in a marriage, closing off doesn't work. I don't know how they expected that to work. You cannot close off in an arranged marriage. You have to be completely open and get the hard, ugly truths out there week 1, day 1. That's truly what it is. It's vulnerability issues, Gabriella. Do they even understand what it means to be married is my question. Child, you just said a mouthful right there. I don't think they do. Exactly. How are y'all leaving the honeymoon? And I did not appreciate Dr. Lisa Paz in their first conversation pumping the brakes for Devon and telling him to slow down and take the pressure off. No, I got married to a stranger. All I know is pressure. Pressure, okay? We in this kitchen cooking. We about to whip up all the trauma. We about to whip up all the drama. We about to whip it up because I don't know how you come into this and then tell me to take my foot off the gas. The whole point of this is I meet you at the altar. I marry you, so I've already chosen you. I ain't going nowhere. We're going to work through that trauma together. I ain't going nowhere. So what difference do I make if I learn it today or 3 years from now? I'd rather learn it today. I ain't going nowhere. And Gabriella, honestly, with any arranged marriage, right? Like, even if the aunties had did this, right? Like, let's say, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. You cannot escape that with an arranged marriage. Those first 5 to 7 years, hell. Like, I don't know, like, how you merge 2 families, 2 marital scripts, 2 like very different lifestyles, all on day 1 of an arranged marriage, and think that it's not going to be hard. That's what you signed up for. So we might as well get the good, bad, and ugly out there. And forever roommates is not what signed up for if I came on Married at First Sight. I could have put an ad out on Craigslist for a forever roommate. It's weird. It's very, very weird. So we've got Shawn and Nikki, right? Adam says you were struggling the first 9 to 10 days. You guys went to therapy and had one session and came out like everything was fine. I don't buy it. I haven't seen any sort of connection between you. Now, if that ain't sassy, I don't know what is. Y'all stay calling these black men sassy. That's sassy, baby. That Adam is very sassy for saying that, because are you in their home with them? Why you feel so entitled to being in their business, Adam? You in their business real bad. Michelle says, Nikki, I don't get the sense that he is your person. Dang, Michelle. Jesus, Michelle. Like, I thought everybody revered you for how calm, level-headed, and respectable you were. My girl came in here hot. Hot. Like, I don't think he's your person. Why is that? Well, I know why it is. It's because Nikki was so cold initially. But why she don't be saying that to Devon and Caitlyn? Why she don't? Because Caitlyn is way more closed off with Devon, in my opinion. So why y'all don't be spewing this at Devon and Caitlyn the same way y'all spewing it at Shawn and Nikki? Because they're in the same situation. That's how it feels, Tree. She must have been watching real close. Michelle did come in judgy here. Doctor. Nikki was at least emotionally open. She became emotionally open. I think she was closed initially and very like rigid. Like, do y'all remember night one, the way she spoke to him? It was very sterile. It was like they've just gotten to the point this week where she made the joke about the banana in his pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Mind you, we're at week 4, y'all. We have less than 14 days to figure out if you're going to stay married to these people, or what is it, 6? This is week 6. We've got less than 14 days to figure out if you're going to stay with this person. It took you that long to get comfortable with him? It took you that long. Like, think about it. You've got 2 weeks now of comfortability and 6 weeks of nothing but bickering between you, Shawn and Nikki. Like, that's crazy to me. And I think she was guarded. They never said anything to Courtney. Never. None of the women did. Now, Devon did speak up. Devon definitely did. But I don't know why they don't say anything to Courtney. Everybody got on the good foot when they saw that cover get kicked out. What does that mean? Oh, the couple. You talking about Devon did. But that's because his wife didn't even support him. Like, no. Anyways, Michelle says what she said. Then Nikki says, all this healthy stuff we were doing is accelerating our connection. And I think it's possible. The sparks are flying. Clearly. Y'all was in there. Shawn came out just as happy and gloating about his experience. My boy was fine. Whatever Paul said really got the sparks flying for them. Mecca says, I'm not seeing the attraction to Shawn. Mecca, shut up. Ain't nobody asked you nothing. Ain't nobody asked you nothing. And they did shout it. Like, they don't take up for certain people. I don't know what's going on with them. I really, really don't know how this group maneuvers. Or here's my other guess, is that they're cutting out any of the scenes that they don't want us to see. Because part of me refuses to think that they heard Courtney talking to Devon that way and nobody said anything to her, like giving her a private phone call the next day or didn't correct her. I refuse to think that they didn't do something to tell her she was out of line. Like, something had to happen. We just didn't get to see it. They were compatible. Yeah, Astros. I don't know. I'm just happy for them. I really am. I'm really happy for Shawn and Nikki. Mecca says, I don't see the attraction to Shawn. And Nikki says, I'm growing my physical attraction. Mecca says, I know, because I wasn't attracted to Belle when we first met. Belle said, how I get in it? Hold on now. We was happily married before this. Don't come in here with no truth bombs tonight, Mecca. But I really do feel like this was just Mecca's opportunity. Again, drinking. Mecca got to stop it. When Mecca drinks, he's unfiltered, he's unmasked, and Mecca says things that don't need to be said. Mecca says things that does not need to be said. And he's got to stop that drinking. But do I know people like Mecca? Yeah. Yeah, I do. And the more you let them talk, they say dumb stuff like this, right? Where you honestly start to feel like, did you ever really care about my feelings at all? But it's just because the drinking gets in the way of their filter. And there was no reason for him to say that. It really, really wasn't. Other than this is another opportunity for self sabotage. And he's going to find 100% of them shots to take. And he's going to take them. He is going to take every opportunity to self-sabotage. And the reason I know that this is not true, and I want y'all to go back with me to the wedding day. Do you remember how excited he was when he saw Belle Jolie on the wedding day? Drop down in the comments and let me know. Do y'all remember her walking down the aisle, the smile, him being giddy, and them like matching in their weird sense of humor, and him finishing her sentence? This is crazy. Here's my number. So call me, babe. Like that song. He was gleeful. And then when he started drinking, his inward thoughts came outward. This was the first time I noticed with him. And he got really loud and slurred his speech. And he was like, you think she likes me? You think she's into me? She didn't kiss me on the lips. Do you think she likes me? And he kept questioning that with his friends. He then started questioning her before they could even leave the wedding day, like the reception. They were just getting their photos at that point. And I remember him like asking her, you didn't give me any compliments. Like, how are you feeling about me, basically? Mecca got reassured that she liked him. And then he was like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this. That is honestly what I think happened. And it's crazy because on wedding day, you could tell how giddy he was to be around her. So for him to turn around and say he was not attracted to her, it don't make sense, except for self-sabotage. If this is how I can tear her down in a way that will make her leave me, because I gotta make her reject me, and it feeds that whole narrative that I'm unlovable and that everybody leaves me. That is what he's basically doing. He's feeding a narrative that somehow he's unlovable. And that whole situation makes Belle question him. So you weren't attracted to me? And he was like, well, I thought you were pretty, but were you pretty enough for me? And not off of first meeting each other. Liar. Liar. Like, you're a liar. And I hope you know that we know it. We can see through this bluff 1,000 times over. Arthur asks, did you watch The Ultimatum? So Arthur, I actually started it and I could not tolerate it. It was giving me the ick. And I mean, it was giving me the ick. I'm not gonna lie. The men on there were giving, I was uncomfortable. That's a crazy framing to your wife. So I believe that the reason Mecca says anything he says is because it's supposed to be crazy. And the thing is, she's got the emotional intelligence. I think she just needs the tools and the guidance. So they need really good couples counseling and not this little stuff that Dr. Lisa Paz is doing with them, but an LMFT to sit with them week after week and get down to the crux of things. Those first 3 years, she's going to have to learn, when my husband lashes out in this way and he says things like this to embarrass me, I need to be able to call him out in the moment. What are the tools that we need to use here where I'm not accepting just any kind of treatment, but at the same time, I'm not reverting to feeling self-doubt because of the things he's saying? Because you shouldn't. Like, that's his own insecurity speaking. And we know that from Mecca. He's just insecure. And so he's self-sabotaging. And an LMFT would sit with you and help you figure that out, because that's not a behavior he's going to unlearn in a week or two. That's going to take years for him to feel comfortable with. Dr. Lisa and Paul make you upset anytime it comes to Belle and Mecca because they never get into the deep of it. I wonder if there's extensive, because I don't think they're just meeting for like 15, 20 minutes. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking it's probably like an hour, hour and a half. It gets reduced down to 15 minutes and they don't show the deeper conversation because it's probably boring. But in that boring stuff is where you find out some of the greatest stuff. It's where you do some of the best work. And so that boring stuff. So dive into that. You just told me about your birthday where you had XYZ but no lights on, Belle. Tell me more. I'm sure that they dove into a lot of that stuff with Belle before, and we just didn't get to see it. So I think that it's great that they're doing that, but they're going to need regular therapy together to overcome this. Yeah, sucks. Sucks to suck, but it sucks. Nikki says that they're growing in their physical attraction. We're going to go back to them, and yeah, I think that they were having some side conversation, but you could tell their mics were turned down because they wanted us to now focus on Mecca and Belle in this conversation. That she was like, I thought, well, she said in her confessional, he doesn't think about how to say things. It's a slap in the face. It was disrespectful to me. And I hate that she left feeling that way, because it wasn't that he was being disrespectful to her. I think he was just self-sabotaging the way he always does. Who's my favorite couple from Love Island season 8? I don't really have a favorite couple, to be honest with you. I didn't like the couples from Love Island season 8. Arthur, I didn't really like them. And I wish, actually, Zach and Bryce has always been my number one answer. I wish they would have showed us. Oh, guys, yes, like the live. If you guys haven't liked the live, like the live, please. That is so, so important. And also share it out. If you're watching from YouTube, especially, make sure you guys like the live and that you share it out. I wish they would have showed us the whys of the 80-50 comment, because it feels like it was glossed over. It was glossed over because it doesn't add to the drama to work out the why. The why is honestly the same thing he's doing here. It's a way to self-sabotage. If I could push her away before she pushes me away, I've thrived. I've met my goal. So I think that is the why. It's just, it makes it so that you have to have sympathy for him, but the producers don't want sympathy. Remember, their job is to keep us talking on these apps. Their job is to have us put out think pieces. Their job is to give you just enough so you can question the rest and try to find a motive, which is why I typically try to stray away from looking at people's motives, especially from a negative way, and only dabble in the behaviors that they actually show us. Because I can talk about what they said, I can talk about what they actually did, but I try to stay away from, he couldn't possibly like her. He doesn't want to be in a relationship with her. He clearly hates himself and his daddy and everything about him. No, from what he's told us, this is XYZ. This is what we know to happen to people who experience this level of abuse. Like, this is what happens when XYZ happens. Like, you can focus on the behaviors without assigning a motive to people, and just focus on like what you actually saw in the show. And so, yeah, I think that that's what is going on here. We also have to talk about Devon and Caitlyn, because I don't think we've talked about them quite yet. Thank you so much for the daily heart me. Welcome in, everybody. Okay, so Devon and Caitlyn. Devon meets her dad. Her dad loves Devon. He's just eating Devon right on up, as we all are. Devon is such an amazing guy. That's the one thing that she compliments him on. And I noticed she does that. Is Caitlyn here for a TV career? Because I hope she knows that we're not really bonding with her in that way. So is she here to put on an act for the cameras? Because that's how I'm starting to read it almost. She keeps coming to us in her confessional saying he's such a great guy. He's amazing. He's able to fit in with everybody. He does such a great job here or there. But then I never see her be nicer to him. So it makes me question her motives. If you really like Devon, and Devon is showing up as such an amazing guy, why are your walls 10 feet high with him? It doesn't add up to what you're saying. And then when she's on camera talking to him about not saying anything negative, it sounds like this should have been a private conversation instead of this is what we're actually struggling with. I think she's more interested in preserving face than she is with actually building a relationship with Devon. Caitlyn does not seem interested in building a relationship with Devon. She just doesn't want the rest of the world to see how they struggle in this relationship. Caitlyn only likes Devon in relation to Taylor Swift and Harry Potter. Exactly. And when it comes down to it, I don't think she really likes him as a person. I think that she just doesn't want the world to judge her or him. And so that she's trying to hide that from the cameras. Devon isn't. Devon's putting it out there on Front Street. If he's so great, why can't you treat him great and have conversations that spend time with him? Period, Trees. That's what I'm trying to figure out too. If you keep telling me he's so great, then where's this? Why aren't we knocking the walls down? And those walls should have been knocked down week one when he put up with your foolishness, getting up, going to the gym without him when y'all had plans, and then trying to act like he was the problem and getting an attitude because he called you out on it. like I really don't think that Caitlyn is willing or able to receive criticism about herself, and that's her biggest downfall in all of this, is that anytime Devon brings up valid criticism of her, it's just like she just can't handle it. She can't, and she just makes him feel bad about himself for having valid criticism of her. You think she's not attracted to him? Sometimes when the attraction isn't there, it's hard to build. So do we treat people, do we only treat attractive people kindly? Because that would be the bigger question. She's mean to him because she's not attracted to him. That's not cool. I don't care how unattractive you are. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. If you're vulnerable with me, I'm vulnerable with you. But if you, I mean, of course, if you're not trying, I'm not doing those things. But the way that I'm reading the audience is that we are making space for people to be mean to other people when they're not attracted to them. And I don't make space for that because I don't live like that. I don't care how unattractive you are. I don't care, how nice your stuff is. I don't care about any of that. Nikki can do what she does with Shawn. I'm not trying to hear it. Period, Danny. She's essentially setting up decision day for a classic. It's not you, it's me. Exactly. My thing is, if being attracted to someone is so important, why say yes? I don't know why they did the show except for fame. I have to believe that Caitlyn and Courtney came on this show for notoriety, because there doesn't seem to be any part of them that wishes to change and bend and become malleable for their partners. There isn't any part of them that's really interested in day one bonding and getting to know their partners deeply. And it just doesn't seem like they're here for any other reason than that. I don't know what to tell y'all, because you could have just did a traditional matchmaking service. You didn't have to come here if you wanted to take it slow. You did not have to come here. You're wasting our time. You just wasted our time. Anyways, Caitlyn tells, hey, Tracy, welcome in. How are you? Caitlyn tells them that she's pulled back on physical intimacy since Cancun because she wants them to progress and grow closer because it's important. Girl, what physical intimacy was in Cancun? Did we miss a chapter? Because I didn't see her be physically intimate with Devon in Cancun either. Did I miss a chapter of their honeymoon? Am I tripping? She had told us that they had been holding hands, right? And she was like that she was rubbing his back, putting sunscreen on him, all those types of things in Cancun. But we didn't get to see it. None, Astro. She ain't put in no work for nothing. Caitlyn just been riding easy like Sunday morning. In Cancun, she wasn't putting a pillow between them. Y'all are hilarious. Caitlyn does nothing and gives nothing. Period, child. Period. Putting yourself through a legal divorce for screen time when you can't even try to fake it is crazy. It is. It's very, very crazy to me. I do feel like she showed up, expected the experts to just get it perfectly right. And when I say perfectly right, a man who doesn't want her. A man who doesn't want her is what she wanted. A man who doesn't care if he sees her. A man who would rather be in Las Vegas than be with her. A man who does not expect physical touch. A man who does not expect her to say good morning to him or hug him goodbye. She had to tell her daddy, I actually just got used to telling him that I'm leaving the house. Girl, that is a standard of just living with people. When I'm at my mom's house, I don't even leave the house without telling somebody I'm leaving the house. Like, when I come in the house, if I see somebody sitting in the living room, I'm going to talk to them. That doesn't even take relationship, anything. That's just decency. We don't understand you, Caitlyn, because that is just decent human behavior. I do not leave the house without telling people I'm leaving. And when I come in, I'm excited to see that they're still there, still kicking. Hello, how are you? Like, it's not hard. Speak to the man. I will never understand. I will never understand this. Devin says we can't move forward without knowing what half of it looks like. Felipe says on decision day, would you stay married with someone you haven't hooked up with? Can I ask y'all that question? If y'all were on Married at First Sight and week 8 came around and you guys had not hooked up with your partners, would you stay married or would you say no on decision day? If you and your partner had not hooked up, would y'all stay married? Or on week 8 when it's time to say stay married or split? Can't do it. Nope, nope. Not on decision. Okay. So my audience leans slightly more. We gonna get busy on at some point in this 8 weeks. Okay. I'm gonna say this. I surprise, I actually agree with Shawn. I'm not gonna hold you. When he said there's levels to it, that's how I feel too. Okay. I feel like you don't have to do that. Like, certainly not. Like, if you don't want to, yeah, y'all agree that that's not important to y'all, then you don't have to do that. I think that the interest just has to be there. Like, do you feel comfortable with each other? Like, the interest should be there, but you don't have to do anything physical if you don't want to. But I could say yes, but we would know that we at least like each other. There's an echo for you, Leslie. Is there an echo for anybody else on TikTok or YouTube? I don't really know. But no, YouTube quality is really good with the sound. TikTok may be having, okay. So yeah. Okay, thank y'all. And so that to me would be the only thing is, like, if you never expressed interest, then I'm like, you don't like me for real, do you? Like, do you really like me? I don't know. Like, I would feel kind of self-conscious if you never made jokes with me or anything, and then, like, you said yes on decision day. That would be weird. Also, too, for everybody on TikTok, if y'all didn't know, we're going to cover Love Island Season 8's reunion on August 31st at 11 p.m. Make sure you guys are subscribed to my YouTube. That is where we're going to be covering it live at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after the reunion goes off. Make sure that you guys have already subscribed to my YouTube. I will be there to cover it live with you guys. It is a Monday night, so I probably won't stay long, but I will be back on Tuesday as well on YouTube to talk about it. For those of you guys who missed the Monday night session, but just hit the notify me, because I already have, like, it's almost like a RSVP to the live kind of thing up on my YouTube page, and you can just hit notify me, and at that time it'll let you know that I'm live. Okay. All right. So Caitlyn says that that's a childish thing to say. We're all adults. I feel comfortable in Devon's ability and mine. She was so defensive at this moment. I knew this was going nowhere positive. And I don't understand. Again, this is the attitude that I've been getting from, in my opinion, I believe that the audience is a lot like Caitlyn for this show. The audience has this opinion that sex should not be discussed. It should not be a part of the equation when it comes to the marriage. And if someone is oriented towards wanting physical intimacy, then they're a creep, they're freaked out, and they're weird, or they get the ick from that person. And I just want to say, I don't know when we became that type of person or that type of society where anybody who prioritizes physical intimacy is a weirdo. Are we okay? Like, are we really and truly, and I ask that question not to be condescending, but to really ask the question, is everybody okay? I feel like we all, as an internet whole and as a society, might need to go heal. It's giving we're unhealed and we're walking around feeling like everybody has to believe the same way we believe about things in order for them to be normal. And so I'm worried about y'all. Like, I'm really worried about the internet spaces where it is considered weird to talk about physical intimacy when you meet someone you are attracted to. Like, when did this become a thing? And even if they weren't married, that's another prudent, like, because don't get me wrong, I like that you said they are married. It's important to discuss, Aisha. But we are flower children's children, right? Most of us, our parents in the 60s and 70s, we are flower children's children. And we have descended so far for what they stood for, okay? When it comes to freedom and physical freedoms, that is actually hilarious to watch us step back in time from physical autonomy and the beauty of the human body and acceptance of it to where we are today, which I feel is ultra conservative. And it's weird because we're villainizing people for being just being, like, just being. And I just want us to really think about where that bias comes from. Who hurt you? Like, who in your past hurt you, and why are you projecting that onto other healthy adults who just want physical intimacy, whether it's night 1 or night 25 of their marriage? There is nothing abnormal about this. I'm so sorry. Or even a relationship, a casual one. There's nothing. Who are we to judge that? And why are we judging so hard when we watch this show? It's just interesting, correct? Like, I hope y'all are recognizing the way that we're projecting onto this show. I really do feel like it comes from a place of hurt and like a lack of safety in our own lives that we're projecting onto other people's lives. Because not everybody feels like that. Like, not everybody feels like that, and that is okay. And I want to normalize it and humanize it and not villainize people for what they like. The whole show can just go in the trash. Tracy, I love it. I love the human experiment piece of it. I think what's making it feel heavier than it really should is the outside noise from people who are just so judgmental when it comes to watching Married at First Sight. Then we have oh wait, my computer just shut off on me. Look. Then she says, well, Devon says that physical intimacy is important, and if the person wasn't into it or wasn't into what you're into, you may go looking for it somewhere else. Caitlyn says, I hate that answer. We don't care what you hate. You hate yourself. You hate everybody else too, except for Courtney. So go be with Courtney. We don't care that you hate it. And I don't understand why she thinks we care. I don't care that you hate that answer. I wish Devon would have said that, because Devon should have literally said that. I don't care that you hate that answer. But instead, he cares too much. I hate it for him, because he said, well, I meant that overall and for other people, not necessarily like for us. And she still wasn't having it. That's just an insane thing to say. And why do you hate that answer? Mecca, I'm glad he spoke up and said something. That's what I'm talking about. That's why y'all think he's sassy, because he don't be playing them games with her. Like, your BS will not be tolerated in men that don't mind standing up for themselves. He doesn't mind standing up for himself, and so he asked a clear question. Why do you hate that answer? It's a fair answer. If you're not getting it here, I'm probably gonna leave you. And that's okay. There is no shame in that. And Caitlyn says the attitude is piss poor. It's about the mentality, especially when you've been cheated on multiple times. And then Devon says that's not what I was saying. And Caitlyn says, I'm talking to Mecca. Oh, you certainly will be. Matter of fact, you can go home with Mecca. You don't even have to ride home with me. But again, she got the right one. Again, y'all like Devons. Y'all like Nicks. I think that they're not saying enough. I like Mecca. I like Shawn because they speak up for themselves. They don't tolerate that BS back. I don't understand why y'all want men to lay over and be lap dogs. Like, just roll over. Bark when I say bark. Jump when I say jump. Like, why would y'all want that? He is afraid to challenge her, Gabriella, and it's that Cordell spirit he got on him. And I want them to be freed from it. If somebody says something you don't like, kick them to the curb, because that's the advice we give women, right? So why we not doing it for men? Question mark. I want to understand if the roles were reversed and a man was speaking to a woman that way, y'all would be like, girl, you ain't got to put up with that. You don't let a man talk to you like that. So why are we letting a woman talk to a man that way? The options are leaving or cheat. If we not a match, and leaving is the better option, period. That's the only option. And she was purposely trying to misunderstand him to turn it into an argument, because that's what she does. She thrives in nastiness. So I'm seeing and hearing no reason or justification. So why are we allowing Caitlyn to speak to Devon this way? And why are we all cheering for Devon when we know that he don't deserve this? He don't deserve this. I hate this for him. And if you guys don't know, I'm going to upload this entire live. So if you came in late, I'm going to upload it to the YouTube. It should be there tomorrow morning, probably. It takes a while to upload these longer videos to YouTube. So give it some time and you guys can go back and watch the full thing. I need to get better about putting timestamps on there, but y'all, that requires me to listen to this whole thing all the way through and put timestamps on there. Eventually, I'll figure out how to. So yeah, I just feel like it's so much that we don't blame the women for that we would never tolerate from men. And I hate that. The double standards are crazy on this show and every other reality TV show. You know, real timestamp. Guys, if you are over on the YouTube side of things, make sure that you like this live. Make sure that you guys also share it out. I appreciate you. Now we do have to talk about Devon saying sorry to her. I was just saying in other marriages, Caitlyn said sorry is enough. There's no justification for that. Whose child does she think she's talking to? I hope at this point Devon has left that woman. For everything in my soul, I hope that he has left that woman, because this is completely inappropriate and this point is abusive, verbally abusive. I don't want to hear that from anybody talking to another adult. That was not okay behavior. Lisa says that's not his point. She is burying the headline that physical intimacy is important with the license to cheat. That's exactly what she did. She buried his main point, which is that physical intimacy is important, under the like mental standpoint that he just wants to cheat. How did you get there from there? And you can't keep blaming your traumas for everything. At a certain point, you have to start saying, hey, I can't keep reacting to this man that way. And I can't keep changing his words. She does not listen to understand. She feels like she's morally superior to Devon and that she'll always be right in their marriage. She's just nasty, y'all. She's just nasty. And y'all, it's 6:48 my time. If I don't get the recap up, y'all forgive me, but come back and watch it tomorrow, because for episode 15, I do want to put a recap up, but I don't know if I feel like recording it and editing it tonight. So I might put the recap up tomorrow. If so, still watch it. Okay. My episode 15 recap will probably be out tomorrow on YouTube, but that's a lot of editing to do tonight before bedtime. He even said it was unhealthy. There was no reason for how she acted. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's never a reason for a rhyme or a reason for the way that Caitlyn and Courtney act. I will never put excuses on that. The way that they act is atrocious. And I hope that the experts, even though we're not seeing it, I hope that they're calling her out on her inappropriate behaviors, because all I ever see them do is try to make him change to fit her. It's not on him to always be the one making the changes. It's not, same thing with Nick. It's not always on Nick to be the one to maneuver around Courtney's foolishness. At a certain point, these women need to do the work. Is there anything else I forgot to say about Caitlyn and Devon in particular? I don't really know if I am missing anything, but if not, then we can definitely go into Felipe and Tori. I don't see anything coming through on the chats, so I'm gonna go straight into Felipe and Tori. They meet with Paul at the beginning of this episode because episode 15, if y'all, I'm sorry, 14, if y'all don't recall, that's where the whole cheating thing comes up again, because they feel like Felipe wants to cheat on his wife, which is crazy to me, y'all. Absolutely insane to me. But Paul clears up the term emotionally manipulative, and I'm so glad that he did, because a lot of people don't understand that words have meaning, so you can't just slap a word on it because you feel like it, okay? If someone is saying emotionally manipulative, they have to provide a motive, and I keep telling y'all, be careful assigning motives to things. You can describe a behavior without assigning a motive. Okay, emotionally manipulating someone requires a certain particular motive, and she couldn't prove that he had that motive. That is why when y'all say the reason that Mecca shows up as hating Belle is because he's queer, you cannot assign a motive to a behavior. Okay, you just have to take the behavior for what it is. And I want to know, who are all the many women getting? Okay, so I think that the bar for nightlife is on the floor. So you have to remember that the people that go out at night are just as greasy looking as he is. They're reeking of alcohol spilling out of their pores. A lot of them don't shower or bathe, and they're showing up to party, and their whole life revolves around that. So remember that those are the women he's actually talking about, because those are the women he's meeting. He's going out to party and dance all night. Who else is there? Because the Tories of the world are in the bed by 9, so she can get up at 4:30 in the morning to get where she needs to go and leave the house at 6. So remember, he's not talking about the women that have these standards that Tori has in a relationship. He's getting a different kind of woman, so they probably are settling for people that look like Felipe. Felipe is for the nightlife. He's for the streets, baby. And I hope all of y'all watch my YouTube video. Drop a yes in the chat if you guys over here on TikTok watch my YouTube video that just came out today. I dropped one and it was like, Paul checks Felipe. Let me know, because I actually talk a little bit about their dynamic. But I feel like that's a whole separate thing. He belongs to the streets. I actually have another video titled Felipe belongs to, I think I titled that one, He Belongs to the Streets. Because I understand that Felipe is wanting just freedom from this responsibility that he sees being a husband being to him. Getting up at 6 a.m. when he wants to stay out and party till 4, how that gonna work? How is that going to work? So Paul says that they're definitely trying, says that Felipe is trying, but not definitely in. Felipe says that he wants to be all in with Tori. And then we see him do a date night for her. It was intentional, sweet, romantic. It was flowers. It was a sauna overlooking the city. A date does not make up for all the stuff that he's put her through, though. A date isn't enough. I'm sorry. That means nothing to me at this point. He gives her this gift of their wedding photo, like this kind of wedding photo in a frame. What am I supposed to do with it? when you want to cheat on me. So, as notoriously like advertised, right? Casting calls are done. Women sign up for Married at First Sight and Love is Blind. Men tend to get recruited. A lot of the times, there are not enough men interested in a show like this who actually have people with the same desperation and fervor as the women. So he probably got recruited to do this show. Agreed, said yes. He was like, maybe this is an easy way to find my wife. Never did any soul searching before this to actually find out if he was ready to be a husband. And because of that, you end up with Felipe's, Mecca's on this show when they aren't ready for a wife. They haven't done the work. And so if you're getting recruited, but you're being paired with a woman who is desperate for this to work out, like a Tori or a Belle Jolie, there's an imbalance of effort usually. And they didn't have any other better people. And that's also true, right? The pool of men is much smaller who are willing to get married. In a city like Seattle, another thing that people don't take into account is that a lot of the men there are there for the tech scene. Those men are bros. Like they are the Adams of the world and younger. So those are tech bros. They're here to party for a good time, not a long time, because they plan on moving whenever a new job opens up on the tech scene or a new product comes out. Because, you know, a lot of them work for startups, right? And so that area in particular has a lot of young men who are not serious enough to settle down yet. So the tech bros in Seattle, something to note. Portland is another city that's kind of similar, but they have the Nike there. Nike is there, and another big business that draws in young men who are a part of that techie type space, but they're not guaranteed husband material. They're just young, well paid, and enjoying the life. Yeah, so that's pretty much that one. Now we get to the group dinner. Let's focus in on Felipe and what's her name? Tori. Let me see where their scene is. Oh, they came after Devon and Caitlyn. I'm not disappointed, actually. I love that all types of people are finding love. Y'all let me know, are y'all disappointed in the black men that they've picked for this show? Because I think it's good to see that healthy love can be built regardless of what you consider a 4 or a 10. I think the point of this should be, it doesn't matter what you look like. You can find love. I'm like, based on the appearance, I'm not disappointed. I'm so happy to see normal people with normal bodies, normal, you know, personalities of different types. And I think that that's a good thing. I'm not disappointed. I mean, this is a dating pool. It's reflective of like, yeah, dad bods are in, right? And I don't think we should shame people for it. Like, I think our society has gotten very, when I was little, can I tell y'all that I never saw men over the age of 40 that did not have dad bods. Like, and I don't know if that's a reflection of how gym crazy we've gotten. Like, there is a cultural nuance. They said that Sylvester Stallone, I think, kind of kicked that off. No, was it Sylvester? Yeah, I think it was. He was one of the first ones to kind of start that off, like the whole craze of getting in the gym. Who was that president that the Republicans love? He was another one, Ronald Reagan. He actually also promoted gym culture in a way that was more so for appearance than for health. And I think that that was where that cultural shift started coming in. But like, natural bods are natural bods. I'm not really judging that at all. So Philippe says in the group dinner that I got cooked at the group therapy session. I wasn't sure about the future I wanted. If I just think about my feelings, I have only wanted to be with Tori since we met. Boy, you lying. We all heard you say you wanted to be in the streets. You wanted other women. Why are you sitting up here lying to us? We heard you, sir. We knew what you said. I was sitting right there. You didn't think I was gonna hear it? I heard you loud and clear. Now, he also says that I just kept thinking about it not working out. I do believe that that is true. I do believe to a certain extent that he started to doubt himself and his ability to be in this relationship with Tori. So I do think Felipe was telling the truth. Adam says, you have a lot of things going for you, and you have this clown week after week saying he can't decide if he wants to be single or married. How are you letting him yap like that? Adam was on one. Do you hear me? Adam was on one when it came to this group dinner setting. He won't feel in it at all. And I just want to say that the way he's coming at Felipe is hilarious, because I don't think Felipe was ready for that. I don't think he knew what to do when he got challenged and like couldn't just give them a whole bunch of like nothingness and just let it smooth over. Felipe says, we need a Paul to help us see that. Right now, I want to be with Tori. I love that. I love that you know that, but you should have known that from the beginning. You should have known that from the beginning. Why did it take so much for you to know that you wanted to be with Tori? Everybody catching that smoke, baby. Treese, he not playing with these people. He's not playing with these people. And Felipe does flip-flop a lot. Michelle says, honestly, Tori, he sounds like he signed up for dating at first sight. Period. Because he didn't sign up for this. He got recruited for this. That's exactly what he came in here to do, is date at first sight. Ended up with a wife, and now he don't know what to do. He don't know how to feel. Also, Cameron says, what would your decision be today, Felipe? Today, I would say yes. But I can't talk about tomorrow. I can talk about today. I don't know what's going to happen in a week. You know we talking about marriage, right? Like, you gonna have to say yes today, tomorrow, and every day hereafter. What are we talking about, Felipe? Is he okay? Is he okay? I don't understand how today is just enough, right? Like, how is that enough? Okay. Okay. And then Felipe in the confessional. Well, with Tori, it wasn't really a confessional. It was like out on the street talking. And he says, I would have liked to hear a bit more defense of me. Everyone is going at me. Being partnered is defending your partner when you see they're saying what they're saying is not true. And Tori panned to the camera after he said that. And the eye contact. And he was like, girl, I feel you. I hear you. I see you. Because what is he talking about? You want Tori to defend you, saying you might not choose her next week as your wife when you're already married. How is she supposed to defend that? You aren't giving us anything to work with, Felipe. Do you see that? This is what I mean. But nobody's calling her out for not defending Felipe. But y'all called out Shawn for not defending Nikki when they were coming for her. I just want to point out that we're not playing the same game when it comes to the expectations between men and women. Why is it okay for all the men and women there to call out Felipe and she not say anything, but y'all jumped down Shawn's throat when they were coming for Nikki? And I'ma wait. Other than he's been, other than y'all just don't like Shawn, so you expect him to die on a sword for Nikki. I might not even be your wife tomorrow to defend you. Correct. You don't even know if you want her for real. What she look like defending you? But I have the hardest time because I know so many creators got on here and said, how you not going to defend your wife, Nikki? Nikki did communicate in error. So Mercedes, I want you to go back to that scene. Well, you don't have to, but we'll just talk about it here. Mercedes, one of the things that became clear was he had told Mecca, or Mecca was there for it. Mecca confirmed that you were talking at him, telling him all the things that he was doing wrong, which we had seen her do before. And it felt like you wanted him to change some things, but you weren't really willing to work on some things or admit fault. And I do remember, China, you're hilarious. And I do remember that's when the table was like, yeah, it just seems like you don't like him. And they're not wrong. At that point, she did not like Shawn. And that is why to this day, he can't even meet her family. Is because she told them so many negative things. And so at that point, yeah, she deserved to be called out. Now she's actually trying. They're in a good space. I see the effort coming from both sides to make things work and to be in compromise with one another. So that's why I think it's great. I don't know why the group is still coming for them when they've clearly made strides to get better. I just don't understand why the group isn't making strides. But I will say this, I don't know why everybody had the expectations that he stand up for her when the group was finally seeing his side. And even now, why would we expect Tori to stand up for Felipe when the group is seeing her side? Like, why would she do that? What would be the point of doing that? Yeah, I don't know. They gazed into one another's eyes. Who, Shawn and Nikki? Is that who you're talking about? Nobody is convincing me that Shawn isn't coercing Nikki. And why is that, Mercedes? Why is nobody able to convince you that he isn't coercing her at this time to give him kisses and to be physically intimate? At this time, like at this point in the experience. Because I also think that that leads us to that thought. Because he is big, black, and bald, is that why he would have to coerce Nikki? He bound that lady? And what's wrong with that? No, I don't think so either, Treese. I think so. Here's the thing, though, right? Like, when you are with someone who is a lower libido partner, there will always be an element of constant conflict about that. And I don't know, um maybe that's where people are just used to being alive. No, I wouldn't, because that's not true. I know that your partner probably won't have that same, like, nobody is ever the same when they're in a relationship like that. So I don't know why people are having such a hard time with the idea that one partner may be wanting to be physically intimate more than the other, because that's everyday life, right? Like, I don't understand like what the big deal is. Uh for me, I just feel like those are everyday conversations. Can't think of a single relationship where that would be the same for everybody in the relationship. So yeah, that was episode 15, guys. We covered all the couples. We talked about everybody's faults, how everybody's progressing. And I feel like, yeah, they're doing a really, really good job at this point. Like, everybody's in a much better space. The only person that I just want to end things is Devon. I want him to step up and just say, actually, I'm done with this. I'm done trying with you. I'm really, really done. I like, I so badly want Devon to just say that. Everybody else keep working at it, because like, if y'all think it's worth it, I think it's worth it for you. I don't really see the issue with anybody else continuing to try. She's a big girl and knows what she wants. He's definitely not coercing her. I think she's trying, though. I think she is too, Emily. And I do give her more credit than I think the internet wants to give her for being able to be decisive. Nikki knows what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And she won't complain it. Like, notice that. Like, she was not disappointed in whatever happened. And so what's funny to me though is they started using more of the CCTV footage with Nikki and Shawn, which tells me that they're finally starting to get unfiltered views of their relationship that I think that Nikki and Shawn aren't willing to give when they're actually on camera and there's a crew in there. I do believe that they're more unfiltered when the crew is gone, and that's why we're getting so much CCTV of them at home and not so much with the camera guys there. She needs therapy, and I mean that in a loving way. Caitlyn, yes, I agree with you. Caitlyn does need therapy, and I actually think Devon deserves better. His asking doesn't come with consequences or like manipulation like with coercion. Agreed, Tracy. At this point, like, there's only been one conversation where he became pressuring, correct? And that one conversation, we dealt with that. I put up a video about it. If you guys have not seen my Married at First Sight season 20 playlist, go watch it. I give some really good insights. Am I caught up on 14 to 15? No, but I will be this week. And so there are no consequences. It is a conversation. And I say this all the time. The same way you have a right to rescind a yes to any type of activity with anybody, whether it's kissing, hugging, you're no longer comfortable with hand holding, you can change your mind every day. Every day. It's the same way he gets to change his mind about where he wants things to go every day. If initially taking a tub bath was enough for him and he decides it's no longer enough, he has a right to have a conversation about that. And that seems to make women uncomfortable. Can y'all explain to me why though? Because I'm interested in the whys behind it. So if you are someone who sees constant conversation about physical intimacy as coercive, answer me why. Because this is where I think people miss me in conversation. It is open communication, and the more communication you have, the better you're able to respond. I don't want you sitting over there resentful because you aren't being fulfilled. I don't want you sitting over there not feeling loved and appreciated in the simple ways, because I just don't know. So actually say the things out loud. They might be awkward, they might be uncomfortable, but say them out loud, because then I can do something with that, right? Hopefully it's not a regular thing. Yeah, Emily, I do want to also caution people from assuming that people come on these shows and they see them have one episode or 2 episodes, but this is over 8 weeks, right? So Devon coming on here and drinking at a friend's birthday party didn't throw any red bells or alarm flags for me, because that's his friend's birthday. And maybe he goes out and he does that once every 2 months because he has a friend's birthday. That would not bother me, because I understand this is only for big celebrations. Or maybe it's only at holidays for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? Like, people have different spaces, right? And so I just feel like, for me, it doesn't bother me. She gave him no indication of her liking him, so the bath comment is a bit much. So this is also where you have to say to yourself, that might be personal preference. I do. I think that that's where we also struggle sometimes. That was the conversation I talked about. That was the one conversation where I created a video. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it is in my playlist. I don't think there's any other time where it was inappropriate. You can ask 15 times a day, babes. And that answer might change each time you ask for something in that 15 times. But that's completely up to y'all. And if she tell you don't ask again till next week, then that's fair. But unless she puts a quantifiable time limit on it, then you get to ask. Whatever. That's where I think the audience loses me. It's like these confines of you wanting everything to be done quietly. Like, you don't want to acknowledge the elephant in the room, and you don't want him to have needs that he expresses. You want him to just read your emotions silently, like, and read indicators. Talk to me out loud. Don't indicate nothing to me. Talk to me. I want to know exactly what you're saying and why. Don't indicate anything. Say it out of your mouth. What do you want? What do you need? What do you not want? What is never going to be acceptable to you, and what absolutely is where you draw the line. I love hearing things out loud. And when I ask about them, don't get weirded out either, because I'm going to ask. They also have to over communicate because of the circumstances. Agreed. And I think this is actually the way you should communicate in any relationship. Shoot me. Everything they've talked about is stuff that I would have been talked about. The fact that they're like, I don't understand. This is just the way dating should go. The way that y'all are treating this as if they're actually expediting things, the things that they're saying should be being said for you in your everyday relationships, because you should know these things out the gate so you don't waste 7-8 months getting to these conversations. And I don't think he has to. Absolutely not. Please don't do that. Tracy, please don't. I don't ever want you to do that. I don't ever want anybody in this room to stifle any parts of themselves for another person to fit into their box. If that person does not appreciate the parts of you, like what we tell Devon, right? Because he's dimming his light. Really what he's doing is stifling himself and his wants and needs. Do not do that. If you are someone who is expressive in that way, you joke a lot, you giggle a lot, you do whatever, do it fully. And if that person doesn't like that, that's not your person. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just really, really feel as though we're asking men to live a silent life and pleasure of women and their needs. And I don't think that that's fair. And it's just because because like, imagine if that was flipped, right? And we had a woman like asking a man regularly to touch her. You guys would not be grossed out by that. Tell me in the chat, would you be grossed out if a woman was the one asking, can you take a bath with me? Can you come rub my back? I would really enjoy that. I would really enjoy some kisses. And, you know, can you rub my hair? Like, just run your fingers through my hair. Like, think about that. Because if you flip the genders and you're not grossed out by it and you don't get the ick, then it is an internalized you problem. See, that's where I differ. Ask, see what they say, and if they're if they're down for it, do it. Like, do it. There's no reason to read the room when your mouth works. Open your mouth. You have not because you ask not. Open your mouth. Say the thing out loud, because you never know. Devon says, I really enjoy cuddling with you. She says, I'd rather just throw my leg across you. Done. He took it, right? Like, if he hadn't expressed a need, he wouldn't have gotten it. You have to open your mouth and ask for the things that you want. And that's what we actually see Devon and Shawn doing. And it doesn't matter. Reading the room would have caused Devon to shut down, because I know I would be shut down with Caitlyn. I wouldn't even have felt comfortable asking her to cuddle with me on the couch and watch a movie the way she acts. And yet he still opened his mouth and he said it. So now he gets a leg thrown across him for movie night. And she's willing to sit on the couch with him and watch something before her bedtime at 8:30. He can't know if there's not conversation, and if it's a no, cool, we move forward. This is why people are saying he should know what I want and how. Exactly, Trees. I don't leave room for mystery when it comes to communication. I communicate and over communicate, and then I re-communicate the communications, because I never want anything to be misconstrued. And if you are, ask for clarification, because I'm willing to give it. I never want you to feel like even if you feel like you're scared to ask me a question, what's the worst I can say? No. Then we just move forward. The thing is that people are acting like reading the room is everything. It's not. Just say the things out loud. If you're curious about it, you never know. I might just say yes. So just ask. Because who does it hurt to take a chance? And the thing is, the entitlement is that bothered people. If we're being honest, it was because he looked the way he looked. I told y'all, we did not have the same discourse when it was Miles asking Karen. And Miles reminded us every day that he was going to say no on decision day if they didn't do something. If she did not do something, he was not going to say yes on decision day. And we all cheered Miles on. Exactly, Miles. Why she come on Married at First Sight if she ain't want to kiss you? She don't want to sit next to you on the couch. Why is she here? We did, this was back in 2020, because like when it was filmed, the world shut down. And I remember that this distinctively. This conversation was not happening, but it was because Miles was traditionally attractive. And we didn't have a problem with him asking every single episode. And I want to remind y'all, Shawn did not ask every single episode. He stopped talking about it when she said, I'm not physically attracted to you, like romantically attracted to you, is what she said at that hot tub scene. And he said, I didn't realize that. I thought we were kissing and making progress. So I thought that that's what that meant. And you kissing me isn't taking care of my heart. And I actually thought that that was sweet, because that is how you tell kids to talk about it. Like, you know, take care of your heart, you know, guard your heart. Yeah, you know, I thought it was sweet that he approached it from that perspective. However, I think that he stopped asking for kisses, and then when it returned, because they had that picnic date, or a nick as he called it, that was when the kisses returned into their relationship. And that's when he started wanting to move it forward physically, which he has every right to want to do. But Miles talked about it every day. Just throwing it out there. Miles talked about it, and he even brought it up. He had conversations with Woody about it on a regular basis. I'm not gonna say yes on decision day if we don't do nothing. And then they made it to decision day. He said yes without doing anything. But y'all, we were still mad at her for how she treated him during the season. Do y'all remember that? And then after that, at the reunion to stop the bullying, he was like, we actually did do stuff. We just didn't want to talk about it on camera. So that's why we didn't tell anybody when we did it. And that was the reason he said yes. And y'all were okay with that, because Miles is traditionally attractive. Y'all just don't want to see your bias. It is biased. Just end the sentence there. Let's go do the self-work. Let's take care of that. Let's deal with that. That is a blind spot that some of us have. Nope, they didn't last. They didn't. But nobody was surprised by that. I can't remember the other people too many shows. That's hilarious. Yeah, we definitely have to check ourselves, and that's all I want us to do. And so many people are uncomfortable calling them their own selves out, and I give you things, and I often tell people, just sit with what I'm saying. Even if you feel like it doesn't apply, just sit with it, because I bet you'll find that there's some truth in the patterns in which I'm observing. We're not holding the same standards for women and men, one, and we're not holding the same standard for attractive people as we do for unattractive people, two. And honestly, we also consider men who stand up for themselves to be sassy instead of seeing them as assertive. And we have to stop doing that. Men get to have a voice. They don't have to be your lapdogs. And it doesn't make them zesty or feminine, whatever that means. People do lean a lot on looks, and that is first appearance, right? Which is why I don't get trapped into that. When somebody's like, oh, first opinions matter, I make mine across multiple encounters with you. How do you keep showing up? How do you keep responding? How do you keep doing things? So one behavior isn't really off-putting to me. It's the cumulative patterns that I'm observing. And that's what I try to call out too, is patterns of behaviors with these contestants on these shows, because that's what tells us more so about them than one-off behaviors. One bad day or one bad conversation does not make them a bad person. And we have to stop that. We have to stop that. Some of y'all are still tainted around the same joke. Shawn made one joke about a 69, and oh my God, you would have thought he tore that room up and flipped the table on top of her, the way y'all acted about him bringing up 69 on the temperature, on the thermostat. And then she, like, it's just interesting to me the way that y'all perceive a bad conversation, or a conversation that you consider to be not your type of humor. Whereas I'm just like, oh, that's not my humor, but that's his. I get it. I expect it now. Like, y'all never been around friends where you like, as soon as I say this, he gonna say something dirty. Y'all don't be having those like types of friendships. Like, as soon as I do this, something's gonna happen. I already know this person's behavioral patterns, and it's just at this point we're gonna laugh it off. Ugh, I shouldn't have said that in front of them. Like, it's just me? Okay, cool. I guess it's just me then. Okay, so that was uh exactly, Tracy. So when you say like, if at least you know that about yourself. So like certain things around you, you just know I set myself up for that okey doke. That's gonna be a joke. I feel it. Um we're talking about Shawn more than Mecca. I don't think Mecca is crazy, but we did talk about Mecca. I'm guessing you came in late. If you're not already subscribed to my YouTube, in the top of my TikTok page, in my bio, you can find my link there. You can see the full recap. It's gonna take a while to buffer overnight because it is a long video. So you guys will be able to watch this full live over on YouTube. You can watch it on 2x speed because we have been running our mouths for a while. So maybe put it on in the background while y'all do some cleaning or something. This was just a full breakdown of it in episode 15. I am going to put out a whole entire recap as well of episode 15, which will be up soon. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I've enjoyed talking to y'all about Married at First Sight. It is one of my first reality TV show loves, right up there with Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I was here, Married at First Sight. I was sat for season 1, episode 1. Loved it. Loved it. I love Love is Blind. That's starting this week. Love is Blind UK. So you guys be aware. You're going to see my content start popping up for that as well on YouTube. Thank you, Debbie. I'm so glad you could make it in. I am going to be putting that as well on YouTube. If you guys don't know, another goal that I'm working towards, because I like to be transparent with you guys, is I'm working towards a goal of 4,000 watch hours on YouTube, which is why I'm dual streaming and I'm moving my audience to YouTube for my streaming, because those hours count towards your eligibility. And what I'm trying to do is get you guys used to going there for my takes as well. So whenever you guys watch one of my long form content videos, not my shorts, because my shorts don't count towards my YouTube watch hours, but my long form content, if you guys turn that on and let it play throughout the night, you know, mute it on your TVs or wherever, it all counts towards watch hours, but it has to be long form. And I'm trying to build up a repertoire. So this month, they just changed it on August the 10th, right? So starting February 1st, you'll need 8,000 watch hours if you don't get into the YouTube partner program by February 1st. My goal is to get there by December 31st. What does that mean? That means by December 31st, I have to build an audience of subscribers who enjoy my opinion so much that they are willing to come in and watch 40 hours over 4 months of all of my long form content. So I need to give y'all 40 hours of content to watch. And that means this month I am planning to come out with 20 different episodes for you to watch. And each one, I'm trying to make it about 20 minutes. Now, there'll be some shorter, there'll be some longer. But more importantly, I want you guys to have a whole entire binge-worthy series for every show that we're watching together. Married at First Sight, Love is Blind UK, and then comes Love is Blind regular. There will be Real Housewives in there. Salt Lake City, and I didn't watch OC, which I'm glad I didn't. That seems kind of boring. And I'll be doing TV shows to experiment with that over there. I really want to give you guys a lot of content so you guys can watch and binge watch, or turn it on and know that you'll have something to listen to in the background while you're trying to fall asleep at night if you have insomnia like me. Okay? You guys are going to have that 2 to 3 hours of content that you can listen to before you fall asleep if you're up that late at night. And that is my goal. So if you guys aren't seeing me as much on TikTok, it's because I'm making long form content now that has to be edited. And let me tell you something, every one of those 20-minute videos that y'all see and y'all just click on and then move away, know that somebody spent likely 2 hours editing that video to put it up for you. And when you see it and you click away like that, it actually does hurt their average view duration, which tells TikTok that you don't enjoy it. So that is something else to consider that on the back end I had never considered. And I think I'm going to do a whole playlist to teach people about that over on YouTube, because I don't think people realize how much you have to do. I had no idea what an impression was, or that there was a click-through rate, or that there was how to count hours for this. 4,000 hours, y'all. I'm going to put that into perspective just so we have a good idea of how many days are in 4,000 hours. That's 166 days of watch time that I need on my channel. And I just started it. So I got to get 166 days worth of y'all watching my channel in order for me to get into the YouTube partner program. Or it doubles before I can get in. That's insanity, right? But we all have to work together, and that's why I'm telling y'all about it. So when you hear me talk about it, yes, that is perfectly fine, Debbie. That is awesome, actually. It's the people that click on it, and within the first 20 seconds, they leave. Your drop-off rate, I'll show y'all in one of the video playlists I'm going to set up how to look at your data and interpret what's coming through, because I'm learning so much in real time, and my click-through rate is linked to my thumbnails. I'm spending about an hour just coming up with thumbnails and titles for these videos. That's how in-depth I am. And I use ChatGPT to help me with my thumbnails, because I didn't pay that $20 a month for nothing. I'm gonna use it. So I'm using it to like figure out what you guys like. I found that you guys actually like it when faces are huge. So don't give me full body shots. You guys want faces that take up about 65% of the screen. And I don't care about those things, right? I go to the creators that I know, but I found my click-through rate is much better when you guys get zoomed in versions of faces. Who would have thought that it makes a difference in the video click rate? All these things that I'm finding out are because of you guys clicking on my videos or not clicking on them and leaving early, right? I found that you guys, because of your shortened attention spans, don't like it if I don't put a hook in that first couple minutes. That's salacious. Like, I had to say the most salacious line and then hop into my video, because you guys won't stay through an introduction without the promise of there being something else like salacious coming. So I am learning a lot. I'm gonna hopefully be able to teach it to you guys who want to become creators as well, who want to make YouTube videos. You don't have to go relearn it. Hopefully, if I'm able to make this series, and that way there'll be a whole different playlist for you guys to sit through. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited about it though. I think it's a cool new journey to take on. I'm trying to reach it before December 31st. So let's start the campaign, right? If you guys hear this again in the future, just know it's because there's not a lot of people in here with us at this point who are hearing it for the first time. So yes, I'll be covering it regularly to make sure that people are switching from TikTok to YouTube with me as I continue to grow there. Again, it's linked in my bio. If you guys haven't subscribed from TikTok, have a wonderful rest of your night, TikTok. And I will see you guys back here soon. For my YouTube folks, thank you so much for sitting with me. The Circle is coming back, but on Hulu. I have never watched The Circle. I don't think I'd be interested, to be honest with you. The Circle seems like a whole bunch of playtime. I really like interpersonal relationships like this. The Circle, where you're hiding your identity, not really there for love. You're there more so to just get to the end and hide your identity. I don't know how I feel about that. I will tune in, just like The Ultimatum. If I don't like it, I will quit on the show. I have no problems doing that, but I will definitely check it out, because I did check another creator's stats, and I saw that they covered the circle, and she appeared to have a large fan base that really liked her covering that show. So it seems to be very, very popular for people, but I just have to see if I'm gonna be able to sit through it and not hate my life, because that's important. I do not want to sit through a show and be like, why am I here? Oh, why am I here? But yes, this debrief, everything from this is gonna be posted. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night as well. Thank you guys so much for helping me get to these watch hours. Thank you for keeping me entertained, talking back to me, Treese. You have been a rock star. And then if you guys do watch the playback, put it on 2x speed. That way you guys don't have to sit through. This was 2 hours of us just chit-chatting and gossiping and being on FaceTime together, basically. But I hope you have